Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, till now we have seen something about conduction, convection and radiations, and we have also talked about the heat exchanger. Now there is something called a heat pipe which is widely used in industries. Now let us look at what is heat pipe. Heat pipe. Now this is one of the most important aspect that one need to learn in heat exchanger, because this is what they are using nowadays in industries. So what is heat pipe? So heat pipe is something that is required to increase the heat transfer rate. Then it is made in such a way that its cross section area is small and the length is quite high, and the change in temperature is almost zero. So mostly we can consider that the heat pipe are working as a isothermal process, and we know that in case of a isothermal process the amount of heat transfer is same as the amount of work done. That is what we have studied in the thermodynamics. Now before talking the introductory part of the heat pipe, let us talk about the construction part. As we have said, it is made very long. Okay, so the one part is called as the evaporating part and the other part is called as a condensing part. Now this is a long thin tube will be there, and inside the tube there will be a wicked material structure. Some wicked material structure will be there, and inside there will be a some sort of a fluids. Okay, so let's say there is a vapor flow here. That is what they have shown here. So basically there is only three material in heat pipe. One is a thin shell, then the wicked structure material. So this is for sake of condensing gases, and then there is a fluid inside this. So construction point of view, that is the only part. To the left hand there will be evaporator, and to the right hand there will be a condenser, and then a long thin tube will be there. Now this is what they call as a heat pipe. So this is all about the construction. Now let us understand the working of the same. For the construction itself, you can see this diagram. So this section is what they call as the evaporating section, and this is what they call as the condensing section. There will be vapor inside, and then the liquid flow through the that of the wicked section, and then the shell tube. Similarly, here also we can see the heat pipe arrangement. This is, in this case, the condensing unit is provided with that of the fins. Now let us look at the working of the same. Here the material is selected in such a way that they will have a very high thermal conductivity. So such as copper or aluminum is what they are going to use for making the shell. So here, to understand the working, we need to understand that what they are doing. They are trying to use the thermal conductivity plus the heat transfer rate due to the phase change. We know that the heat transfer coefficient is quite high when we are considering the phase change. Now that is what they are using here to enhance the heat transfer rate. So what is happening here? So the evaporating section will be kept to the one side from where the heat will be getting into the heat pipe. So this will obviously make the inside fluid hot, and it will form its vapor, and then the vapor will be traveling towards the colder section. So try and understand that if suppose this is the evaporative section and this is the condensing section, then the in between part is entirely insulated. It will be insulated in such a way that no heat will be transferred to the surrounding. So this vapor will be traveled to the colder region. So to the colder region, obviously there will be a sink that is available. So heat will be thrown to the sink, and then that vapor will transfer itself from gaseous phase to the liquid phase. So now here what has happened? The hotter source which was there in contact with the evaporating region of the heat pipe got its heat from itself to the heat pipe by conduction, and then by the phase change the amount of heat is again enhanced. So by conduction heat is traveled to the fluid, and fluid itself has converted itself from the liquid to the gaseous phase. Now that gas has traveled to the colder region, and then that gas itself will get condensate to a liquid. Now for this we require this wicked surface for the better condensation. Now this can be done by some insulating powder or by increase of the area by making a small holes or the projection near the condensing region. This liquid by the capillary action will travel back to the evaporative region, and then again the cycle continues. So this way we can have a very high amount of heat transfer rate because of the two phase heat transfer in this case. So this is all about the working and construction of the heat pipe. This can also be made vertical. So if it is made vertical so that the condensing part is kept upward and then the evaporating part is kept downward, then that sort of scenario is also they call as a thermosiphon. So I hope all of you know what is the siphon effect. Similarly here, if I made this heat pipe as a vertical, then this itself will be called as a thermosiphon. So this is all about the construction of working. Now let us look at the fluid that we can use inside. See, now the fluid that we can use will depend on the temperature, the working temperature. So based on working temperature, there are few of the standard fluid that they are using. Helium is used between 2K to 4K, that is Kelvin. Mercury between 573 to 923 Kelvin. Sodium between 873 to 1473 Kelvin. Ethanol is used at a higher temperature, that is 273 to 403 Kelvin. Water is used at 303 to 473 Kelvin, and methanol is used at 230 to 400 Kelvin. So it is a sodium that is used for the elevated temperature, and helium is used for the lower temperatures. So this is all about the type of fluid that can be used as a working medium. What are the advantages? Obviously there are so many advantages. Few are the silent operation. There is no moving parts over here, so there is no noise in this case. So we can say that there is a silent operation. No external source. As we can see, we only need the evaporating part and then the condensing part, and then a long thin tube which is entirely insulated. So for heat transfer we don't really require any external source for heat pipe. Reversible operation. As we have seen previously, there is a cycle here. The colder fluid will keep on moving to the evaporating part, and to the evaporating part that will again get converted to the vapor and it will travel to the condensing part. So this cycle will keep on rolling. So it's a reversible process. It is very close to a reversible process. Then it's rugged in construction. So construction itself is a very rugged. And the last but the most important one is high heat transfer rate. So heat pipe is used to enhance the heat transfer rate or to enhance the heat transfer coefficient of a given system. Now after looking at the advantages, let us look at the application of heat pipe. So in general, it is used to remove the localized heat and for the waste heat recovery system. So in industry, for these two important cases, they are using the heat pipe. First one is to remove the localized heat, which is unnecessary. This is mostly in case of the heat generation. And then wherever there is a wastage of heat, so to recover that wastage of heat, we can use the heat pipe. So first one is obviously gas to gas heat recovery system. Now in many of these cases, they use the fins to enhance the heat transfer rate. Second one is electronic system. So again, there are so many electronic systems where for removing the heat periodically they use the heat pipe. Mostly the heat pipe will be used, or the evaporating part is attached to the electronic systems or the electronic device. So obviously whatever electronics device that is generating heat is connected to the evaporating part, and then the condenser part is obviously kept at the surrounding. So this way we can use the heat pipe in the electronic system. So as you can see that most of the electronic systems, they have reduced their size, but even though the size has reduced, the amount of heat generated may not have reduced. So to enhance the heat transfer rate, we will have to come up with some devices. So this is the device that they are using, or because of this device, that is a heat pipe, they could have reduced the size of most of the electronic devices. For example, hard disks. Previously the hard disks that we were using was of larger size as compared to nowadays what we are using. Obviously the answer to the efficient heat removal system is heat pipe. Again, electronics transformer, so there the heat is generated, so the amount of heat that is generated has to be dissipated periodically. For that also we can use the heat pipe. RAC, that is refrigeration and air conditioning system. So there are again many waste recovery, heat recovery systems are there which are employed with the RAC, that is refrigeration air conditioning system. So there most of the heat that is sent to the condenser, that is lost to the surrounding, that also can be used periodically using the heat pipe itself. Then the preheating of a compressor or preheating of a compressed gassed air. So the air that is compressed can be previously heated to increase the heat transfer or the efficiency of the compressor. That can be done by the heat pipe itself. And then there are so many other industries such as chemical industries there where there is a application of heat pipe. So as we have seen, there are so many advantages and applications of heat pipe. Basically, heat pipe increases the heat transfer rate by incorporating the thermal conductivity of a material and then the phase change. In this topic, we talked about what is heat pipe, then its construction, its working, and advantages and application. Thank you for watching this video. Please stay tuned with Ekeeda and subscribe to Ekeeda. Thank you.